And we are live. Welcome everybody for this weekly live stream on the latest and greatest news in Ethereum and DeFi. And today we will be talking about Kyber, which is the new project of Cronje, the first flash vote, or how someone used Flashloan to manipulate a governance vote in a DeFi project, Kyber Pro, which is a new API for market makers, and the new version of Pull Together, which is a no-loss lottery. And we'll do the Q&A at the end as usual. If you don't know me, I'm Julian, your host, and on my channel Eat the Blocks, I teach blockchain development, DeFi, and how to find your first blockchain job. And before we continue, quick shout out to my two courses. If you want to become a blockchain developer and make $100,000 per year like I used to make, register for my course Six-Figure Blockchain Developer. And if you want to learn how to make Flashloan arbitrage, check out my other course on Flashloan. And hi to people in the chat. Hi Abra, hi David, hi J Root. And we're gonna start with the price of Ether. Okay, so this week we had a small decrease, but compared to the stock market, which decreased even more, that was actually better. So we start to see a decoupling from the stocks, which is very positive. Actually, if you look at the chart of Bitcoin over the last months, it's even more clear that we start to have this decoupling from the stock market. So we have to be aware that this week we have a lot of uncertainty because everybody is waiting for what's going to happen with the US election. So that's one of the reasons of this uncertainty. So Bitcoin is going up, and more big companies start to accumulate Bitcoin. And why I talk about this? Because this is very bullish for Ether, because what we see with Bitcoin is that more and more Bitcoin start to be tokenized on Ether with projects like GNBTC, and this will give more liquidity for DeFi and Ethereum. So I hope that in the future we're going to see even more projects to tokenize Bitcoin on Ether. I really think Ethereum has a card to play here to leverage the increase of Bitcoin price. Okay, so next, as usual, I like to have a look at the gas price. So as you know, the summer gas prices were really crazy, and that actually caused a big problem for DeFi. So now gas prices keep going down. Finally, we are at levels where everybody can participate in DeFi. So this is good. Next, I want to have a look at the DeFi market cap. So this week we are at 11.33 billion. That's a bit more than $1 billion decrease compared to the last week. We also had this accident on the chart here. So not sure if it's real or if it's a bug of DeFi Pulse, but one of the reasons we have this decrease in the market cap this week is because we had this hack of the Harvest Finance protocol. Actually, I published a video, the previous video on my channel explained what happened with Harvest Finance, and so that triggered a huge withdrawal of 600 million. So I think that's one of the main reasons why we see this decrease in the market cap of DeFi, and the other reason is the slight decrease in the price of Ether. Okay, so next, we're going to discuss the prices of DeFi tokens. So it's a good week for DeFi folks like Cream 100%, Pico 47%. I haven't followed much all of these DeFi folks, so I guess something really positive must have happened for this huge increase. When we're talking of the losses, actually we have a majority of red, so it's not really a great week for DeFi tokens. And finally, we also have the tokens of the new project of Cronje, but we will see this a little bit later. So next, we're going to talk of the DeFi rates. So this week is nothing too exciting. The most interesting yields are USDC on DYDX and DAI also on DYDX. Okay, so next we're gonna start with the main news of the week, which is the new project of Cronje. So Cronje is launching a new project called Kyber. So Andre Cronje, every week he releases a new project. So I think we should just create like a new dedicated category just for him. There's the blockchain category, DeFi category, and Andre Cronje. So this project of Andre Cronje is for creating a market for keepers. What are keepers? So keepers are people who participate in the maintenance of DeFi projects. For example, people who trigger liquidation in a debt-based system. If you call some harvest function on strategy that rotate between funds, between DeFi project like Yearn Finance. If you call vote on behalf of a user with the permit approved scheme, or if you trigger a limit order when the price is matched. These are examples of what a keeper would do. So currently, the keepers are managed at a per project, but it's not always easy for new projects to find keepers who want to participate, even though they are incentivized. Like usually, keepers are rewarded for their action, so it's not a volunteer. But even with this system, it's not always easy to find keepers. So with this project, Keeper of Andre Cronje, there will be a marketplace to match keepers and project. And so the workflow will be like this. So first you'll have project who will create some jobs. So basically they will tell keeper which function they want to be executed on their smart contract. And after, keepers will take some job and they will get rewarded if they actually do their job and execute different function. So there are already a couple of jobs that were added for AV liquidation, for example. Another project called Hedging Pool. I never heard about this one. You also have a couple of jobs under review. So you have Synthetics, Yearn, Cream Finance, which are under review. And on the GitHub of the Keeper project, there is also a new section that was added with some script for the keeper. So basically, if you are a keeper and you want to participate in a job, you can check out the script on GitHub and you just run this script to participate. So yeah, it's if you want to participate and do some liquidation, make money programmatically, but you don't know where to start, it might be a good way to do it. So I really like the idea of like generalizing this problem, like finding a solution to this general problem of keepers. However, I have to say that creating a marketplace, it's something that is super hard because it's as if you have to create two startups. You have to basically take care of the two sides of the market. Like you need to attract keeper and you need to attract projects. So this is really going to be the hard part. But if you can democratize if you can democratize the process of keepers, so everybody will be able to do liquidation, etc. So it's I think this is really useful. So now let's talk about the tokens of this project. So there is a new token for this project called KP3R. Yes, this thing here, this weird sticker, with ticker. And so as at the moment the project is still in beta, but as usual people get so excited when it comes to Andre Cronje, and so as soon as the project was launched, its price went up like crazy, like 2000%. So yeah, I mean this is pretty usual. I think that was 5 minutes after it launched, it already went up like insane. So like previously there was already some problem with a project of Andre Cronje, like its game that he launched like a couple of weeks ago. I think there was like eminence of something. Like there were millions that were invested in the smart contract and that was unaudited, and there was a security vulnerability that was exploited, and people lost their money and even got angry at Andre, which I think is really crazy. So be super careful here. If you want to invest in this, like just be aware that you are just gambling like crazy. There might be a security vulnerability or something, so be really careful. So I like to make a side note here on what's the goal of Andre Cronje, because he built so many projects. Like, how can you keep up with all of this and maintain them all? This is really not possible. So actually, he said that he wants to build templates and developer tools. So I don't think that he really means to really keep maintaining this project on the long term. He just want to help developers to build stuff. So what it means is when you see a new project of Andre Cronje, what you can do is sort of take his project as a base and expand on it and launch your own project. But I don't think you should try to imitate Andre and release a new different project every week, because you're not going to get anywhere by doing this. Okay, so next news of the week. So we have Flashloan, and now we have Flash Vote. So that's the story of how Flashloan can be used to manipulate votes. So B Protocol, which is a blockchain project based in Israel, used a Flashloan to manipulate a vote in the governance of MakerDAO. So that was a friendly hack that was just to show a vulnerability. So on October 26, the B Protocol first borrowed 13,000 MKR tokens, worth 7 million. So that was done with a Flashloan from DYDX, and after, so I think they borrowed some stable coin from DYDX, and after they swapped this for MKR on Aave, which is a lending platform, and after they used this MKR to do the vote, and after they were able to reimburse the loan. So I'm really surprised this is even possible, because I thought that in order to vote you need to sort of maybe lock your token in the voting smart contract. So maybe that a quick fix to this would be to require that in order to vote you need to lock your MKR even for a small period of time. Even if it's just a couple of blocks, this is enough, because with the Flashloan you have to reimburse everything in the same block. So already, if for voting you need to keep the token on 2 blocks, already that's too much for Flashloan. You can use them. So I think this is the fix is pretty simple, but that's one more proof that with Flashloan we can really do a lot of damage on the blockchain. Okay, so next I want to talk of Kyber Pro, which is a very comprehensive suite of tools released by Kyber. So if you never heard of Kyber, that's a decentralized exchange. And so this suite of tools is basically a set of libraries and API for market makers. So what are market makers? So market makers are people who provide liquidity on traditional markets, like on the stock market or on centralized exchanges like Coinbase. So on these markets, you have an order book with limit buy and sell orders. So at any time, you have people who are willing to buy or sell your stocks or your coins. So these limit orders are provided by market makers. This market maker make money from traders who constantly pay the bid-ask spread. So, for example, if you're a trader and you want to buy some Bitcoin on Coinbase, so you will buy Bitcoin but at a higher price, and if you want to sell your Bitcoin, you're gonna sell your Bitcoin at a lower price. So that's what we call the difference. It's what we call the bid-ask spread, and that's the profit of market maker. A market maker are, how to say, very obscure entity. There are actually very few people that this is even a business, but they do exist and they play a very, very important role on the market. It's very lucrative. You can make a lot of money, but it's also very risky. It's very technical and it requires a lot of capital. What you have to do is you have to readjust your buy and sell order constantly to make sure that you follow the direction of the market. But it's not easy to do it without spending too much money. So on the blockchain with DeFi, we don't have on-chain order book, but instead we have automated market makers where everybody can be a liquidity provider without having a lot of capital or without being very technical. Everybody can do it. So it's good to make market maker more accessible to everybody, also to bootstrap some liquidity on the blockchain. But on the other hand, for traditional market makers, they don't really feel super comfortable to bring their liquidity in these innovative exchanges. So the value of Kyber Pro is to offer a suite of tools to enable these traditional market makers to bring their liquidity to DeFi without any knowledge of the smart contract. So concretely, that means we are going to see more liquidity coming to DeFi projects. So I think this new thing, Kyber Pro, it's launching pretty quietly, but actually I think the market that they are targeting is very important. That's a very niche market, but I think it can have a huge impact on blockchain and on DeFi. Okay, so next news, we're going to talk of Pull Together, which launched a new version of its protocol. So Pull Together is what we call a no-loss lottery. So what makes Pull Together very special is that nobody loses. So just before this update, they were at V2, and so now they are at V3. And so with this update, we will have larger prizes, and this is made possible because what they will do is they will invest the stake of participants in various DeFi protocols. So they will invest, for example, in Aave, in Compound, etc. So I don't know if they interact directly with these other DeFi protocols, or if they use a yield aggregator like Yearn Finance. Actually, I think it's probably easier to use a yield aggregator in this case. They also remove the admin key, which will make the smart contract more secure and decentralized. And they also improve the random number generator. So before it was centralized, and so that was a security vulnerability. And now they use Chainlink VRF, which is really the state of the art for decentralized random number generation. Next, we're going to talk of centralized finance. So there was really a lot of news this week about like banks and like traditional finance investing in crypto. So first, there is this bank in Mongolia, that's the largest bank of Mongolia, which is going to offer crypto services, so custody, remittance, deposit, crypto asset management. So I mean, I'm pretty sure there aren't many of you who live in Mongolia, but still this is important that big banks start to really get in crypto. Another big bank which get in crypto is Gazprom Bank. So this is a Russian bank which launched institutional crypto services in Switzerland. So institutional crypto services means this is not open to retail investors. So basically you and me, it's not open to just retail people, but just to like big investment funds. But this is the beginning. Once they start to open up to institutional, the next step is to open to retailers. Next, there is another news about centralized finance for crypto. So DBS, which is a Singaporean bank, is planning to launch a crypto fiat trading exchange. So it wasn't an official announcement, it was a sort of leak. Someone found a cached page on their website, then they talk about it. In the meantime, this page was removed by DBS, so it's probably too early for them to announce it, but it's pretty huge. So just to give more detail, they will release a sort of ICO platform where businesses will be able to raise funds by issuing digital securities, and assets will be stored in what they call an institutional grade custodian, which is set up by DBS, and they will call this DBS digital custody. That's very important because usually businesses are not really comfortable with being the custodian of their own crypto assets. Like they are used to the bank taking responsibility for this. So we need this for really wider adoption. So the exchange will be regulated by the Monetary Authority of Singapore. So so this is really a big step for banks to do this. Next, still in the category of centralized finance which adopt crypto. So the central bank of Iran will start to acquire Bitcoin. So the way they're going to do it is they're going to force miners in Iran to sell that Bitcoin directly to the central bank, and that's going to be used to fund imports. So, I mean, I'm not sure how they can really enforce this, because miners in Iran, like, they can sell their Bitcoin without telling the central bank, but that really show that they start to have some appetite for Bitcoin. So on the other hand, I mean, you guys know the political situation with Iran. Like, they're pretty much cut off from the dollar system by the US, so they're trying to find all sort of hack to be able to access the dollars. So it's not really your typical central bank, but still, this is a big step, like a central bank holding Bitcoin. Like, this is pretty huge. Next, there was the BIS, which is the Bank of International Settlements, say that they are working on a proof of concept for digital currency. So if you don't know what is the BIS, that's basically the bank of bank. So they are not talking of using a digital currency. This is just a proof of concept, but it means they are moving their ass to they are seeing that crypto is getting really bigger. Just one last thing on this. So as a side note, I was actually contacted by one of their recruiters to work for them in Hong Kong, and they actually offer pretty high salaries. So yeah, I mean, just FYI for your information. But you have to be willing to work for a large company, which is probably quite boring. But yeah, this is still a very viable option. So Christine Lagarde has launched a survey to get the public feedback about a potential digital euro. So Christine Lagarde, he is a former Minister of Finance of France, and now she's the head of the IMF. So people always pay close attention to what she said. And she mentioned two options for a future digital euro. So either blockchain based or using intermediaries. So if they pick the option to be blockchain based, the advantage over the current system is that it would probably be more open and less opaque than now, but I don't think it'd be very decentralized. So I mean, it's still pretty early. We'll see what happens, but clearly we can see that we have more and more centralized finance actors that start to take steps to adopt crypto. Okay, and next I wanted. So two other news. I think I did. Okay, yeah. I was lost in my tabs. Okay, so next news. There is this project that raised money. So what is DeFiDollar? So DeFiDollar raised $1.2 million. So this is the Indian blockchain startup. They are building a stablecoin aggregator. So what is this? So they will build a sort of meta stablecoin, which is a basket of the main stablecoin that already exists, like DAI, USDC, etc. So the advantage of this is to be hedged against the risk that one of these stablecoins lose its peg to the dollar or just totally collapse. So it's like basically a safer stablecoin. So they launched during the East Global Hack Money Hackathon in May this year. And they currently have $3 million in volume. And there will be a governance token called DFD, which will be distributed with liquidity money. So, yeah, so nice investment for them. And second, so IDEO Collab Ventures announced a $21 million crypto fund. So they are a VC fund for early stage startup, and so they created this new fund just for blockchain startup. So the way it works is first they raise money from investor, they create a fund, and only after they start to invest in specific project. They already invested in a few famous blockchain startup like OpenZeppelin, Instadap, etc. And they have some very smart investors like executives from Coinbase and some really well-connected people in blockchain. So why am I always mentioning like some investment event in my live stream? This is because whenever you hear about a company that receive an investment, that's a sign that they will be in a hiring mode, probably for at least a couple of months. So that's really a good time to apply for jobs to this company. Basically, that's what it means. Okay, so next news for developers. So there is a preview for the next version of Solidity 0.8. So the main chain is with arithmetic. So when you do an overflow or underflow, that means when you exceed the maximum number that you can represent in Solidity, it will in Solidity 0.8 it will throw an error and cancel the transaction. Whereas currently it just do an overflow. That means if you exceed the highest number, it just go back at the beginning at 0. So, and that's a very, very dangerous bug. So currently we need to use a library that is called SafeMass in order to avoid this, but in the future you won't need this library anymore. As a side note, I feel like the releases of Solidity are coming really fast. Like Solidity 0.7 just came out. It's just a couple of months ago, and Solidity 0.6 was released at the beginning of the year. So yeah, I mean that's okay. They make some improvement to Solidity, but I just don't like to have like so many breaking changes. But anyway, we have no choice. We just have to follow. Then this week we're gonna have TruffleCon, so on the 6th and 7th. So this is one of the main conference for blockchain developer. I was a speaker for TruffleCon last year, and it was really good. So this year is going to be online because of the pandemic. And so for the admission ticket this year, this is free. So if you haven't registered yet, do it. This is probably going to be good. Okay, so now we're going to do the Q&A. So I'm going to repost the link to my 2 courses. 6-figure blockchain developer and profitable Flashloan, and I'm gonna go up in the chat and see all the question. So what do we have here? Crazy cool say, hey Julian, I have $8 in ETH. What would be a good project to get started? What do you mean? You mean to invest, or you mean to take a course? So I mean, to invest, it's very difficult for me to give you a recommendation. Like whatever you invest, just make sure that you can you can afford to lose it. But personally, when I got started in DeFi for investing, I chose like very simple projects that are not too risky. For example, lending money on Compound. Or you can lock you can buy some MKR and lock it, and you're gonna get some percentage on that. So like yeah, you can do some really easy stuff. And other than that, I mean, if I were to get started in blockchain, I'll probably start to learn blockchain development, because I think this is the most reliable way to make money in crypto. Yash Kamal saying hello sir, hi, hey Yash. Okay, so 2 is saying, is there a DeFi mastery course available? So yeah, I'm working on it. My plan, so the last date for me to release it is at the end of the year, but if possible I want to make it available in 1 month. So I think that I'm going to give a very specific release date very soon. It will force me to move my ass and work faster. You know, that's the best way. Like when you see you're not making enough progress in something, you just like make your goal public, and you use a public pressure to force you to work. Basically, that's a very good motivation. Richard is asking, did you check out the news about Binance from Forbes? No, I didn't see this one. What happened with Binance? I just know that with Binance currently, their Binance Smart Chain is getting more and more popular. Actually, I did a video about how to create a smart contract on Binance Smart Chain last week. You can check out on my channel. Okay, so is it all the question that we have today? Maybe yes. Okay, well, I mean, last week, like, that was so crazy. Like, they were like questioned for almost 1 hour, but it seems like this week this is a little bit calmer. Yeah, that's good too. Okay, guys, so I think we're going to wrap up here. So yeah, thanks everybody for coming here, and I'll see you for another video on my channel. Peace out. Bye.